Namaskar. Welcome back to the example number 10 for the event Health and Longevity. In this example, we had a detailed discussion in the previous video wherein we studied a male chart who committed suicide by hanging himself. We had a detailed discussion with the help of the EPS tables. Now the same example we are going to study with the help of the PILT table. Such a study wherein the grouping of houses are strongly recommended to be studied, always EPS table will be more easier when compared to the PILT table. Because in the PILT table, we can see the role of the key planets, but the grouping of houses Lagna and third house, because when a person longevity is disturbed by hanging himself, making death on its own, causing death by of hanging himself or by some means he is committing suicide. So Lagna should connected to the Maraga Badaga houses, and importantly 8th house, Maraga Badaga houses, and 8th sublord also the same way, and importantly moon should get disturbed. All these things we can easily find with the EPS tables combined study with the birth chart. But same thing it is possible in the PILT table also, because we can open the birth chart also there. We can open that EPS tables also there for each planet there. But in the PILT table, just with the key planet shades, we cannot identify which planet is strongly unfavorable without checking the self-significations grouping, level-wise grouping. But PILT table will be useful in finding the role of the unfavorable key planets afflicting the Lagna and afflicting the destiny and 8th sublord and also Dasa period, and which are the planets are under the influence of the unfavorable key planets that we can identify. So combined study with the PILT table along with the EPS table will be always good. So anyway, let us check with the PILT table how far the unfavorable key planets are afflicting the destiny and also Dasa periods for the particular event. Now let us examine this birth chart with the help of the PILT table. Example number 10, weak longevity, committed suicide. We are going to study this example with the help of the PILT table. This is the birth chart of that male native who committed suicide. Now let us examine this chart with the help of the PILT table. The key planet shades whatever you have given in the previous video for the EPS table analysis, the same thing we can follow also here. Otherwise, if you can also follow the colors what software is giving automatically, or since we have already given the colors by detailed analysis on the self-significations, that we can follow here also for as a continuity. So moreover, I remember in the previous CPS table analysis, we forgot to give the color to the moon planet, Badaga Lord. So I have given that pink shade for the PILT table analysis. So now I have opened this self-significations table. I as normally say that please keep open the self-significations table, because then only we can see the self-signification. Otherwise, just with the colors, it can indicate. You can see Ketu, Sun, Moon, Mars, Saturn. All these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 planets are pink. Remaining planets are red. It itself is indicating it is not a good chart for the longevity, because it is indicating mixed significator. No green, no blue. So it indicates it is indicating some weakness. Even in the previous example also, we saw such a study that weakness is indicated by way of pink shades and the red shades only. So when same color is being given to many planets, so unless and otherwise we study each planet's self-significations within that red also, which is unfavorable, within the pink also, which is more unfavorable, by way of grouping of houses only we can see. For that purpose, it is always recommended to study or keep open the self-significations table. Even here also you can see, let us focus on the red color, Venus. Venus is 7, 11, 12, 2, 2, 4, and 12. This is 7th Lord. Maraga Lord and 12th Lord also occupying second house. Maraga 12 also supportive for Maraga. 4 and 12 also supportive for the Maraga end of life. So Venus is a strong, unfavorable key planet, death-causing planet, right? And Rahu planet is Karaga planet for unnatural death and occupying 8th house. So the planet is occupying the house of longevity. Though 8th house is supportive, in general, 8th house is having both the signification. 8 indicates longevity also. 8 indicates the planet which is indicating 8th house is connected to the unfavorable houses to the 8th house. It is indicating, not supportive to the 8th house. It is indicating some trouble to the 8th house, right? It can favor for the death also. Unnatural death or unexpected death can also be indicated by 6th house when it is combined with the other unfavorable houses. Now, Rahu occupying 8th house, moving towards 1, 3, 7, 9 cuspal sublord. Lagna sublord, 3rd sublord, 7th sublord, and 9th sublord. For this Sthira Lagna, 9th house is the Badaga, and 7th house is Maraga. Lagna and thought process, Lagna itself is connected to the, disturbed thought process, and Maraga, Badaga, the two 8th house. So, occupant of the 8th house itself, Ragu itself indicating unfavorable houses to the Lagna's thought person. It can favor for the, Maraga, Badaga also. That too, Rahu represents moon. Moon is Badaga Lord, 9th Lord. Occupying for 5th house is fine, but unfavorable grouping is on the higher side. Occupant of the 8th house. So, death because of the involvement of the Lagna, involvement of the disturbed mind is going to happen. So this Rahu planet is on its own, it is indicating some weakness to the Lagna. It can also favor for the Lagna and also for the, Maraga also. So Venus is directly indicating strongly unfavorable for the Maraga, and Rahu is indicating that it is having mixed significator because it is having 1 and 3, 8. We can say these houses are good for the longevity, but 1, 8 occupant representing Badaga Lord, 1, 3, 7, 9. This grouping is not good. So that we have to keep it in mind. When this Rahu is getting disturbed by any other planet, suppose Rahu is getting the Venus in its support, definitely Rahu will get influenced by the Venus. It can favor for the death by killing himself because 8th occupant 1, 3, 7, 9. And that too moon, Karaga planet for the mind, Badaga Lord also, and that is also, strongly influenced by the Rahu, right? So that way Rahu also weak, Venus also weak, and Jupiter, 2nd Lord, Maraga Lord occupying 8th house, 4, 8, 12 star Lord. This is Karma Trikon. So this is having unfavorable grouping strongly, is that to a free planet. So Jupiter planet is indicating Maraga houses. And trouble giving houses to the Lagna as well, right? But here you can see Rahu is not having the strong trouble giving houses to the Lagna because the Lagna, if it is connected to 8th house is fine, but 8th house, 12th house, 6th house grouping, it is not present. So that Jupiter is having this 4, 8, 12. And Mercury planet, red color planet. Mercury 8th Lord occupying 3rd house is fine. 1, 9 star Lord and 2, 8, 11 cuspal sublord. 11 is fine, but 2nd house and 8th house cuspal sublord. 8th Lord, that is the planet of the longevity, is 2 and 8 cuspal sublord. 2nd house is Maraga. 8th house is longevity or death also we can see. So that 8th Lord itself having got some weakness, this is supportive. It is having mixed signification, but on the unfavorable side because of the 2 and 8 cuspal sublord. 8th Lord and 2 and 8 cuspal sublord. This Mercury can support to other planet which are favoring for such activities, such death-causing houses or trouble-giving houses to the Lagna. This Mercury will favor for that. So in that case, if you see which are the planets are strongly unfavorable to the Lagna for the longevity, that Venus, strongly, Venus is strongly present, and Rahu, Jupiter, and then lastly we can say Mercury. So Mercury is indicating some trouble to the longevity along with some favorable, but Venus is strongly unfavorable for the longevity. Jupiter also unfavorable for the longevity, and Rahu also having got some trouble to the Lagna. So that way, among the unfavorable, the red color planet, Venus, Jupiter, Rahu, Mercury, all the 4 planets are having that unfavorable. Importantly, Venus and Jupiter, then comes Rahu, then comes Mercury. Then among the, among the pink shade, mixed planets, Ketu occupying second house, representing Saturn. Okay, Sun is not bad. Sun is pink because 10th Lord, 6 and 10. But of course, it is not a mixed one. It is not unfavorable on strongly. Because it is not having any Maraga Badaga houses, it is not having any 8th house or 12th house. So that way it is not bad. And moon planet is Badaga Lord, 9th Lord, though it is occupying 5th house, represented by Rahu, 8 and 1378. This is not good. So among the pink, moon is unfavorable, and then comes Ketu. And Mars is actually, if you see, this is also Mars is also pink. 1, 5, 6, 3, 3, 7, 11, 6, and 10. It is not unfavorable strongly. 1, 5, 3, 3, 11 are good only, right? So among the pink, Mars is not that much weaker. And then Saturn planet, 3rd Lord, because 3rd house is important for the thought process. And that planet, 4th Lord also occupying 10th house. This is neither bad or nor good also, but it represents Ketu. Ketu is occupying 2nd house and 5 and 5. So on its own, it is not that much unfavorable, but 3, 4, 10 is not good. Suppose Saturn is influenced by other red color planet, Venus, Rahu, or Jupiter are there in support to the Saturn, that Saturn can get the unfavorable strength. So on the pink shade, moon is unfavorable than the other planets. Then comes the Saturn. Mars and Sun are not strongly unfavorable. So Ketu also fine. Second occupant, but 5 and 5, it is not bad. So we can say that more than the other planet, moon and which planet? Moon planet and Saturn. These 2 planets, Moon and Saturn, on the pink shade, Moon and Saturn are weaker. And all the red color planets are, of course, they are all unfavorable. So that way we can differentiate, or while we are giving the color itself, we can do such a study in detail also. And we can give some other color to these pink shade. Instead of pink shade, we can give the light blue, or some other colors we can give it. So differentiate from the other planet with the same colors. I think you're able to understand. So Moon and Saturn, not good. And unfavorable side, all red color planets are all unfavorable, right? So that we have to keep it in mind. And let us go with the destiny study. Let me clear this one. Yeah. Now, okay, let me keep open that self-significator table, and let me select use EPS colors and KP check all. Now what we have to do, we have to check the destiny and whether destiny planet is influenced by the unfavorable key planets in the rulers and also in supports. If they are present in rulers and also support, automatically the intensity is going to be more. So which is the, destiny planet? Lagna Lord is Mars. And Lagna's Lord is Mars. Lagna's sublord is Rahu. And 8th sublord is Mercury. So Lagna Lord Mars, in the star and 2A above this Jupiter, this is all red color. It indicates clearly that Lagna having got weakness, right? Lagna sublord is Rahu. Lagna sublord is Rahu. Rahu itself is self-afflicted, 1379, occupying 8th house that we already discussed. Rahu has got Venus, our strong, unfavorable key planet for the longevity. Death causing planet, Venus is present. And Rahu in the star of Mercury. Mercury is other, unfavorable key planet for the longevity. So, Lagna Zablod in the star of a planet 831928. Lagna itself will cause its own destruction. That is being indicated by the star level planet Mercury, that is going to give the trouble to the Lagna of that is Rahu. Sublord Mercury again, 12 level also Rahu. So Rahu in the star of Mercury, Mercury in the star of Rahu, that it is clearly indicating that destiny, Lagna, sublord is afflicted. 3-8 combination is coming, 2-8 combination coming, Maraga, Badaga also are connected. So it is indicating not good for the Lagna and longevity. Right? What are the other unfavorable key planet required for the such problem? Venus role and Jupiter role. If you see, Venus is playing role for the Rahu in supports, and Jupiter role is there for the Mercury in supports. So these unfavorable key planets are playing role, strong unfavorable key planets are playing role in the supports of these other unfavorable key planets. So that is clearly indicating that, right? So that way we could see that, that Lagna sublord itself is strong, not strongly good. And moreover, Rahu represents moon. We already discussed moon is Badhaga Lord. Under the influence of Rahu, that itself is weak. So mind is disturbed. Rahu moon combination, Mercury Jupiter combination, and Rahu moon Mercury Jupiter. So which are the unfavorable key planets of the Lagna sublord? Rahu, Venus, Mercury, Jupiter. All are playing role, right? So now let us check the 8th sublord. 8th sublord planet is Mercury. So Mercury planet, let us check that Mercury planet. Mercury in the star of Rahu. Mercury, because we already discussed Mercury in the star of Rahu, Rahu in the star of Mercury. They are in star exchange. Now they are all not good. It means what? Lagna sublord, how it is weak. Similarly, the 8th sublord Mercury in the star of Rahu, Rahu having 1379. So it is indicating trouble to the longevity by the action of the Lagna itself, because 8th sublord planet in the star of Rahu, 1379 combination, 8th occupant, mind is disturbed. Sublord is Saturn. Saturn is third lord. We said no that moon and Saturn are the unfavorable among the pink shade. Third lord, fourth lord occupying 10th house and sign exchange with Mercury. That's what I think you would have noticed. You can see in that birth chart, Saturn in the sign of Mercury, Mercury in the sign of Saturn. So they are in sign exchange with the Mercury. So Mercury is the unfavorable key planet. Saturn is in the sign of Mercury. So that way it is indicating sign exchange with the Mercury, unfavorable, forming rulerling also, right? You can see this. So that way, a sublord also not good for the longevity. It is connected to the Lagna involved 8th house, 3rd house, and Maraga, Badaga houses, and all are involved further. They are all influenced by the 6-12 grouping, 8 and 12 grouping. What are they? Jupiter. Jupiter is playing role because Jupiter is the planet. It is talking about Maraga and 4, 8, 12. The two free planets it is influencing, and Rahu, Venus. Venus is important because it is the unfavorable red color planet. So that is also playing role. So that way, destiny is indicating trouble to the longevity. That trouble is given by the Lagna itself. So that is clearly indicated. So that is indicating that destiny is weak for the, it is indicating weak destiny for the longevity. Now what we have to do, we have to check the Dasa Lord. So which Dasa that native can face problem, that we have to check it, right? So that if you see that that native was born in Venus Mahadasa. Native was born in Venus Mahadasa. That Venus Mahadasa, he was born, is a child, right? So there is no point in checking that one. And Sun Mahadasa after that. Sun is also not bad because star level, sub level, which are the unfavorable key planet can give trouble to the Lagna and to make the Lagna to take such decision. We already discussed Rahu and Moon, because Moon is the Badaka Lord, and Rahu and influenced by Venus and Mercury planet, and influenced by the Jupiter, right? And after that is among the pink shade Saturn. These are the strong unfavorable key planet, making that Lagna is weak. And eighth sublord planet Mercury. Eighth sublord planet Mercury, that is destiny for the longevity itself, has got that Mercury, Rahu, and Saturn and Moon all are playing. Jupiter is playing role in supports. So these are the unfavorable planets are afflicting the Lagna also, Lagna sublord, and also the eighth sublord, and also Lagna lord also afflicted by these planets. So that Dasa Lord should have this role of these key planets, importantly Rahu, Venus, Mercury, and role of Jupiter also important. So that Dasa only can give trouble. So now we can see Sun planet is not indicating that one. And Moon, yes, Moon itself is playing, but star level is Venus. But to a level, all Moon only playing the role of Rahu, and Mercury are not playing role. And similarly, Mars planet. Mars is not is not a strong unfavorable key planet. Let me keep open that self-significators, right? Mars is 1, 5, 3, 3, 7, 11, 6, 10. So it is not bad. It is good only. Among the all other planets, Mars is having good house grouping, Lagna 5 and 3. So that Mars is playing at the source level planet, but star level planet is Rahu. It is indicating some trouble to that Lagna, but it is not connecting that unfavorable grouping. Moreover, Mars is forming ruler link to the 12, and sublord planet and star lord of the sublord are influenced by the Mars. So that way it is not going to give trouble to the Lagna. So Lagna itself is going to play, but it is not experiencing unfavorable death-causing planet or trouble-giving planet in the star level and sub-level, but they are all getting the support of this Mars by way of supports, right? Now, next comes the Rahu. So whenever we have to keep it in mind, whenever Rahu is playing role as a destiny planet, and also it is indicating strong unfavorable grouping, during that period, definitely it will give trouble. It is going to execute the thing strongly. So Rahu itself is unfavorable, that we already discussed. Rahu Dasa itself is going to cause problem, because that itself is the Lagna sublord, destiny planet for the Lagna. That we had a detailed discussion in that. So in the Rahu Dasa, which Bukti is going to give trouble? To give the trouble to the Lagna, first of all, that Dasa Lord Rahu, if it is having strong unfavorable giving planet to the Lagna along with that death-causing houses, in own Bukti it can give trouble. Here Rahu having got Mercury, and again Rahu Mercury only playing, it is all talking about Lagna 8th house, 1, 3, 7, 9, all talking about some trouble to the Lagna, but not indicating serious troubles to the Lagna with the 8th house, 12th house grouping and Maraga, Badaga house, the second house role. They are not playing strongly. So it needs, Rahu needs some other planet as a Bukti Lord to act, to support for the Rahu's thing to get executed. Rahu is good to give the death, because Rahu, Lagna sublord, in the star of Mercury, it is talking about self-destruction. So it can act as the death-causing planet. Moreover, that Venus also playing role. But to act as that death-causing, before that, Lagna has to face trouble, right? So under the Rahu Dasa, which Bukti, that we have to see that. You can see that Jupiter Bukti. Jupiter is the Maraga Lord, second Lord, and 8 and 12 star Lord. And Jupiter is having that Mercury in its support. It is acting as the source planet. And that is talking about the source itself, is talking about the Maraga, right? It is 8th Lord, sorry, 2nd Lord, Maraga, it is acting. And in the star level is Moon represented by Rahu. So Moon, Badaga Lord, is playing role here, and Rahu is the representing moon, and moon in the star of Venus. That planet moon is a pink shade, mixed planet supported by Rahu, and star lord of that moon is Venus. Venus is a strong, unfavorable key planet influencing the Rahu, that is the Dasa lord. Because Venus is strong, unfavorable, right? That is playing role at the 12 level, and sub level is Saturn. This Saturn and Moon already we discussed among the pink shade. The Saturn and Moon are the comparatively unfavorable, right? So they are playing role. So that way, that Jupiter is 8 and 12 significator. And suppose if you open this EPS table, you will understand better. You can see Jupiter is having these houses in the star level Badhaga Lord, supported by Rahu. And you can see, that moon is there in supports, and Rahu has got the Venus also in supports, and moon itself in the star of Venus. So that Badhaga Lord is connected to the Maraga houses. Sublord is Saturn. He is getting the influence of the Jupiter because Jupiter is the Maraga Lord, and Saturn and Jupiter are conjoined. So both are giving their influence, and Saturn is conjoined with the Jupiter, that is the source planet, is influencing that strongly. And moreover, it has got Mercury in its supports and Venus in supports. So that way, this planet at each level, it has got weakness, and it has got all the unfavorable key planets of the Dasa Lord. Rahu itself is playing role by way of moon at the star level, and Mercury is playing role. It is not as the ruler, but it is also playing role at the source level planet, that is Jupiter. Sign lord is Mercury, and sub-level planet Saturn, sign lord is Mercury. Moreover, it is sign exchange with Mercury. So all the unfavorable key planets of the Dasa Lord are all influencing the Bugdi Lord, Jupiter. That Jupiter itself is Marga Lord. So that way, that moon is also connected, Saturn is also connected, because mind disturbance given by the moon, and Saturn is third lord, that is also third was also disturbed. So in Rahu Dasa, Jupiter Bugdi it is indicating involvement of the mind, involvement of the trouble giving houses to the Lagna. 8th house, 12th house are all connected, and third house also disturbed. So under Rahu Dasa, Jupiter Bugdi, it is supportive for such problem to the Lagna, trouble to the Lagna, and can lead to such a sensational, emotional decision to take it. Moon is also involved. And now within that Jupiter, which planet is going to cause death? Death causing houses, we already discussed Mercury, Rahu, Venus are the death causing planets, right? So which planet is having such planet in their rulers? Rahu itself. So Rahu Dasa, Jupiter Bugdi, Rahu itself has got all the other grouping. It is not having any favorable grouping. So that native committed suicide during Rahu Dasa, Jupiter Bugdi, and Rahu Antra itself, right? So you see, why Rahu Antra? Because here in Jupiter Dasa, which is the planet making that Jupiter is furthermore unfavorable, that Rahu and mind, moon. So mind, moon is disturbed, and that is giving trouble, and that the moon also Badagala, that Antra Lord, Rahu itself is playing, influencing the moon, Karaga planet for the mind, and in the star of Mercury, that Mercury is, you can see 1, 3, in the star of 8, 3, 2, 8. So that way it is indicating it is going to give trouble to the Lagna by way of self-destruction. That Mercury is getting that Jupiter, that Bugdi Lord key planet is playing role in supports. Being the free planet, its role is restricted. It is influencing the Mercury. So that way it is all playing role. So the native died in the Rahu Dasa, Jupiter Bugdi, Rahu Antra, in Jupiter Sukshma itself, he committed suicide. You see such signification grouping. You can see all red color here. Here, Moon, Saturn, we already taken as unfavorable. All are having such things. And you can see many planets we can have such things. But red color planet along with that Moon and Saturn, from the source, it has to support for that. So that way, we can differentiate with the PILT table with the key planet states, but we can identify the real influence of the grouping only by way of studying the EPS table. So we have got the option to, we can identify the which are the planets are under the influence of the unfavorable key planets of the Dasa Lord into Buddhi Lord. So that way we can, find those planets in the short list, and we can open the EPS table of those planets and check their level wise study. That is also good. That is always recommended. So I think we are able to understand. So when such a grouping of houses are important in doing the combined level of effect, it is always recommended to check the EPS table. In general, studying the EPS table, then we can take the help of the PILT table to know the influence of the unfavorable key planet with the help of the ruler's link, and also the role of the Dasalard's key planet in the Bugdilard in supports and all. We will not be able to see in the mini EPS tables. We can see only in the bigger EPS tables. There also we have to check the planets which are there in supports. But in the PILT table, we can easily identify by way of presence of that such planets in their supports easily. So that is an advantage. So that such a practice will be more useful. And as I used to say that, give importance to the EPS tables. Once you are having good command on that, you make use of this PILT table as a tool to identify the favorable and unfavorable key planets impact. I think you are able to understand. We'll meet in the next video. Good luck.